First Alert Weather. This is WKYT News.
Good evening from WKYT. It's now 10 o'clock, and right now we are tracking potentially dangerous weather. A major winter storm is moving into central Kentucky. Want to take a look at what's happening right now on I-64 in Louisville. There's a picture, Amber. So it begins with snow-covered roads, challenging conditions in the Derby City already after a very quick drop in temperatures there.
And, Bill, this is happening really quickly as the changeover happens literally before our eyes. So let's get you right to WKYT. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tracking the latest for us as it moves closer to our viewing area.
Yeah, what you're seeing on that Louisville cam, guys, the snow-packed roads, you got a layer of ice under that. That's what we're going to be seeing in Frankfort coming up in about a half hour. And then in Lexington, probably 11:30, 12 o'clock or so when we start to see the snow accumulating. So you got the wet streets showing up here on the Frankfort cam, but it is snowing heavily now. And in those streets, you can see the grass is turning white. What'll happen, all of a sudden, we'll ice everything up on the roads here, and the snow will begin to accumulate. Downtown Lexington, it is still raining. You may hear the rain on the rooftop. When you see water streaming down our camera, you know it's coming down at a pretty good clip. So we got some heavy rain now, ponding puddles of water out there that all of a sudden are going to turn into ice, and we put snow down on top of that. 9 different sky cams. Look at our Covington cam now, where we had the rain. You've got ice covering that camera, and we got some snow-covered roads on that one showing up into Louisville. That's your Louisville cam. Eventually, all of these cams will begin to show snow as you go through different points heading into the overnight. But the progress of that storm continues to make its way from west to east. Winter storm warning, winter weather advisory. No changes in any of those products as the afternoon went on through the evening so far. At best, or at least an inch or two for most areas. So we got a low total and you got a high total. We're within that range. Most of us will pick up an inch or two. Some of us are going to get up into that 3-inch range, a 4-inch range, and some local higher amounts, upwards of 5, 6 plus, showing up across parts of north central Kentucky, where you may see a little uptick in that between Louisville, Cincinnati, and the Lexington area. Somewhere in that vicinity, somebody may get 5, 6, 7 inches of snow and on up into parts of Ohio as well. But in a setup like this, really doesn't matter if you get an inch of snow or you get that 5 or 6 inch total. The wind is going to be whipping whatever it is around that you have tonight. It's going to be really hard to get snow measurements because that stuff is just going to be going gangbusters in terms of the wind. Current temperatures, 32 into Frankfort and dropping, 14 in E-Town, 6 degrees in Owensboro, yet it is 46 in Jackson and Prestonsburg right now. So that Arctic front is about ready to slam into Georgetown, Lexington, and Danville, and as it does so, the temperatures drop quickly. We almost need a minute-by-minute play-by-play of the actual thermometers dropping. Look at the wind chill now, -1 E-Town, 16 below for the current wind chill in Owensboro. I mean, that is brutal stuff. And by tomorrow morning, we're going to double that. We're going to be close to 30 below zero. And that's why we have that wind chill warning that is now out for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky and surrounding states too. Some of the coldest wind chill numbers you're ever going to see. So the snow line is increasing now into central Kentucky, and you can see how the snows are still well back here to our west into western Kentucky. Snowing now into northern Kentucky where roads are becoming snow covered. This is one of those setups to where after it starts snowing, within an hour, all of a sudden you look outside and you're like, wow, that happened quickly. Because you're getting snowfall rates that are intensifying now as low pressure develops with a wave of low pressure right on top of our boundary. The Arctic front almost showing itself here with a narrow band of some enhanced showers. We got that on the east side of town, and the radar's picking up on just a little bit of blue. So even where the temperatures are still above freezing, some snows are trying to mix in here across Lexington and Georgetown, back into Versailles and Nicholasville. But then you see those darker blues that are off to the west. That's where you're getting those near whiteout conditions with winds that are 30 to 40 miles per hour now. And that continues to get toward Russell Springs, Liberty, and eventually Monticello, Somerset, and east we go through the remainder of the overnight. Snows back to the southwest. Notice the intensity starting to pick up a little bit now from Bowling Green to areas just to the west of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, the back edge of the steady heavy snows will soon get into western Kentucky, but that's a long way away from central and eastern parts of the state. So that snow band going to continue to roll its way on toward the east as we head into the overnight. There's your front with that wave of low pressure that is popping along it, and it is this area in north central Kentucky where I think we're going to see some tremendous lift. The atmosphere with that rising air going to produce some heavier snows into parts of northern and north central Kentucky over the next couple of hours. Hour by hour, here we go with the future radar. This is where we are now, where we're going to be an hour from now with that dividing line, rain versus snow, sliding down the Mountain Parkway, getting to Moorhead by around midnight. And you see those bands of heavy snow and gusty winds of 40 miles an hour. 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, those snows continue to work their way out of the region. So you got about a 5 or 6 hour window to put down some pretty good snows as we go through the overnight. And then, guys, even though the back edge of the steady snow gets out of the way, as we go through the day tomorrow, that bitterly cold air, little energy upstairs is going to produce some snow showers and snow squalls from time to time. Not only tomorrow, we're going to keep the flakes flying all the way into your Christmas weekend. Now, when I come back in a few minutes, we're going to continue to focus on the snows that are out there, but also the latest hour by hour with those dangerous wind chills, some of the coldest numbers you're ever going to see around here in just under 15 minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. And please remember that you can stay weather aware with our WKYT First Alert weather app. You can scan this QR code. You can search for it in your app store. It's going to give you the latest weather alerts and radar. And the most important part, it works with cellular data if you were to lose power and Wi-Fi. So very important for you to go ahead and download that now.
And right now we are monitoring the road conditions in Lexington and watching the transition begin from rain over to snow.
Our Grayson Passmore is live for us off of Man of War right now, tracking what's happening as we speak. Good evening, Grayson.
Yeah, good evening, guys. The rain was coming down pretty hard over here where we are. It's just now starting to let up just a little bit. There are still a lot of cars on the road over here where we are, which is at Man of War and Sir Barton. A lot of traffic on these roads still, but it's actually, like Chris was saying, it's this rain that's going to be the problem later on. The roads are going to be very icy, very slick, so it's really important to make sure you're finishing up whatever you're out and about doing and get home safely, which is exactly what a lot of shoppers we caught up with earlier were doing. The grocery stores all around the Hamburg area were just packed with people getting their last minute supplies, making sure their carts were full, some getting their last minute Christmas presents in case the stores aren't open or they aren't able to get to them in the next couple of days. The rest of everyone else, they were just getting their flashlights, batteries, canned food, water, anything they might need in case of power outages, and just anything they might need so that they can just stay indoors and stay safe. Everyone else was just out making sure their cars were serviced and that they were ready to go. Then we went over to the Bluegrass Airport. That's where we saw the big signs, the arrival departure signs either said delayed or, unfortunately for a lot of people, they just said canceled. Luckily, we did catch up with one man. He said he's from Ashland. He made it here safely to Lexington and was just getting on his flight to go home and spend Christmas with his family.
Well, I'm checking my tire pressure. I've put a sleeping bag in the trunk and a hat and some extra gloves and some extra water bottles in the car just in case.
I was a little concerned because I come from Ashland and I was just hoping to beat the weather down here. And so luckily I have, at least so far. So hopefully the flight's on time.
Again, just like that driver we talked to who had her car packed, that's a good idea for all of you as well. But just, it's about time to be getting home and staying safe the rest of the night. Live in Lexington at Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Grayson, thank you so much. You stay safe out there, and we're going to check back with Grayson coming up tonight at 10:30 to see how things are progressing weather-wise here in Lexington where she is.
And we're keeping a very close eye on those temperatures. They are dropping quickly across the region.
Yeah, and our Chad Hedrick is live near the interstate for us, and he's tracking what's happening on the interstate there. Chad.
Well, Bill and Amber, good evening to you. So far, traffic on I-75 is still moving pretty smoothly at this hour. Again, just a very cold rain at this point. We did see, just for a brief moment, it seemed like some sleet was mixing in, but it's right now still just a very cold rain. And in the meantime, before we get to that switch over and see that flash freeze, there are people that are going out on these roadways, not to just go shopping or get last-minute supplies, but to check on people who don't have a place to call home and are living on the streets of Lexington. We showed you earlier this week when the Compassionate Caravan was going around town and checking on people and making sure they knew about the incoming weather and that they had a shelter to go to. Tonight, they are in full action, the caravan and another van driving around. We've got Councilmember-elect Tana Fogel is with Brother Thomas Cobble, who does this every day, every winter, going to make sure that people who don't have a home have that safe place to go to. And for those who are being helped by the Compassionate Caravan, they say they are so thankful and grateful to have these volunteers making sure that they are safe ahead of this storm.
It's one of those things that you kind of don't think anybody cares, but when they go around and they do this, man, it really shows.
Yeah, there's some campers that's not going to come in, so we just make sure they got everything they need warm. I gave them extra clothing and extra hand warmers, and tomorrow I have to check on them. I mean, I can't make them.
And Brother Cottle says that that's exactly what he'll be doing in the morning. He will be going around and checking on those folks. I can tell you just saw the light on my camera moved away because we have got some intense winds coming in. That cold front, I guess it seems like it's knocking on our door now. We'll check back in with you a bit later. Now live in Lexington, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
Chad, thank you. He's going to continue. We're going to get updates from him throughout the night. We're going to check back with Chad here at 10:30. We said, Bill, earlier in the night to be here with us because we would literally see this changing on the air with us, and there's a little bit of an example
living through
of that,
it. Well, way to roll with it out there right now for Chad. Now, it could be a long night, maybe a couple of days or so for power companies with outages expected.
Yeah, Daniel Lowry with Kentucky Utilities is joining us now with an update on their efforts. I know, Daniel, freezing rain and these temperatures, that's not something your crews want to hear tonight.
Well, we apologize for the audio issue there with Daniel. We will try to do that in just a little bit, I guess, right?
Sometimes things like that happen. So, Daniel,
right.
Hang tight. We'll get back to you in just a moment. There is much more here to come on the 10 o'clock here on the CW.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries helps you work around that special piece you can't live without. It's the Lazy Boy Year-End Sale. For a limited time, you can save 45% on everything in the store. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Temperatures are dropping, making now the perfect time to replace your furnace. For a limited time, purchase a high-efficiency furnace and get your air conditioner for free. Plus, don't pay anything until 2024. Don't wait. This offer ends December 31st. Call today or go to climatecontrolcorp.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The music that moved a generation and the hottest dancing on Broadway. Now on tour, On Your Feet, the story of Emilio and Gloria Estefan.
At the Lexington Opera House, January 20th through 22nd. Beautiful custom homes on large lots located on McClure Road in Winchester, just a short drive from Hamburg. Dream it. CP Builders can build it. Give Tanya Skeen's Remax Elite Realty a call and start planning your dream home today. 859-771-5254.
Imagine a knife taking this much abuse and didn't need sharpening. Introducing the incredible NutriBlade knives, coated with granite stone non-stick and made of stainless steel, one of the hardest substances on Earth. Now everyone can chop, slice, and dice just like a pro. Order right now to get this professional 6-piece set of NutriBlades for just $29.95. We'll even ship them to you free. Get your own NutriBlade knives, the last knives you'll ever buy.
Start your mornings with WKYT Mornings.
We'll catch you up on local news as you wake up.
Know before you go with an accurate First Alert forecast.
And beat the commute with First Alert traffic.
Your mornings start on WKYT Mornings.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries helps you work around that special piece you can't live without. It's the Lazy Boy year-end sale. For a limited time, you can save 45% on everything in the store. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Closed captioning on WKYT is brought to you by Cumberland Valley National Bank. Bank better.
Everybody, we continue with the WKYT First Alert Weather Day. This massive winter storm, not just bringing snow, wind, and bitterly cold air to Kentucky. This is impacting every state east of the Rocky Mountains. Take a look at this map showing how much real estate that we have with some kind of winter weather alert that is currently in progress. We've got freeze warnings deep into the heart of Texas and into Florida, too. If we can take that map, there we go. We can see that the blizzard warning is out for the upper Midwest. Winter storm warnings go all the way into Nashville, Tennessee. And then the bitterly cold air hitting the Gulf of Mexico. Let's check our cams. We've got Louisville, snow-covered roads have been that way for the better part of the past hour. Covington cam is icing over. It won't be too long before the Lexington cam ices over and snows over. Georgetown, we're not too far away from seeing that switch over to snow. We've got snow into Frankfort, and the roads are beginning now to freeze up. And then eventually, all of this will get into eastern Kentucky. Let's go to Frankfort and look at this. You're seeing the slush in just a matter of minutes. At the top of the hour, we had wet roads here in Frankfort. That is no longer the case. Now the temperature solidly into the 20s and dropping basically every minute in a front like this. So that snow, it's also changed to a finer snow because of the colder air. So now we're seeing that accumulate. Look at all the wet, damp weather we're seeing in Lexington. That's going to ice up in the next hour. That change over to snow is essentially going to be between now and 11 o'clock for Lexington, likely before 11. Winter storm warning continues in effect for western Kentucky, central Kentucky, north central Kentucky, and some late evening data suggesting this area from Columbus back to Covington, Cincinnati, Louisville, Lexington, somewhere in there, may get smacked around a little bit with some heavier snows compared to everybody else. Winter weather advisory in the east. Now, that's the area we highlighted for. We pushed the upper limit of that a little higher in northern Kentucky. Already reports of 2 inches of snow on the ground into parts of the Louisville metro, and down toward Nelson County got a report of 2 inches already on the ground. So they're verifying the low end of those totals already. So again, we're going to fall in this blue area somewhere between the 2 and 6 inch amount, and it will vary from location to location. Going to be hard to measure with gusty winds. Less snow showing up in eastern Kentucky, but even there, you're going to talk about 1 to 4 inches. Wind chills, minus 30 later on tonight. Current wind chills are dropping like the proverbial rock behind that Arctic front. Feels like the 40s in the east because that's what the temperatures are. 16 below zero is your current wind chill in Owensboro. 7 below E-Town. And in 2 hours across the Lexington metro, we're going to be around 5 degrees for that wind chill and dropping even more so. The actual Arctic front is now getting into the west side of Lexington, and those temperatures are going to drop quickly. It's 5 in Paducah, 3 Indianapolis, minus 4 St. Louis, Cedar Rapids, 11 below zero right now. Arctic front is right on top of us, so that transition now to heavy snow is underway across north central Kentucky, and that's the area where I think the heaviest snows are going to fire up tonight over the next 3 or 4 hours, and you can see that boundary making its way into and out of Lexington. So the mix over the next 20 minutes will all of a sudden become heavy wet snowflakes and then a finer flake that turns heavy as well. The darker blue showing where it's really coming down. That goes all the way back to Louisville. Transition is underway from Liberty into Casey County, back toward Adair County, and points to the west from there. Eventually, that'll get into Somerset and London. Heavy snow around parts of Bowling Green and Nashville, Tennessee. The back edge of this stuff is now into western Kentucky, but there is your low that makes its way on through. That future radar as we go through the night, you see that transition line making progress across eastern Kentucky and into West Virginia. The back edge of the snows won't arrive into Lexington until around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So you got about, again, as we said, a 4, 5, 6 hour window to put down some pretty good snows. Hour by hour wind chill forecast. I promise some bitterly cold numbers. Look at this. 34 below zero is the forecast from that new model run for tomorrow morning. Guys, the wind chills in western Kentucky right now are already at 20 below zero. So that is totally conceivable now that we could reach those minus 30 to minus 35 wind chills from time to time, first thing tomorrow morning.
Ooh, it's going to be tough, right?
Right, it is. And if you're going to be out traveling tonight, last thing you want to do is break down on a night like this on the side of the road, all right?
Be prepared.
Better off not to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So we said it could be challenging for the power companies. Some outages possible out there.
Now, Daniel Lowry with Kentucky Utilities is joining us with an update on their efforts. Good evening, Daniel. I know when we have these freezing temperatures and a lot of this rain and then maybe heavy snow, that is not good news for your crews and those power lines.
No, definitely not. I mean, they are out there now. Our crews are busy with some outages. We've had about 500 customers out, mostly in the western part of the state.
Well, you know, the wind, of course, is a major issue. But when we get this ice, that is likely to weigh down some lines, right?
Right. You know, our system is designed to withstand extremes, but it's the wind from those trees, the tree limbs that get knocked into our lines that cause a lot of problems.
Daniel, when folks lose their power, everybody wants theirs to be the first to come back on, and I know a lot of people have to be patient. What can your customers do to help you guys out in terms of reporting those power outages, and then what do people need to know to stay safe tonight?
Well, you can always report an outage with our mobile app. We have a mobile app, LG&E-KU, and so we also have an outage map on our website, so you can report that to us. And if you see any down lines, please report those because you don't want to mess with them. I mean, you've got to treat those as being energized, and not only the lines themselves, but any tree limbs or trees that are in contact with those lines.
Well, that's key, and we certainly hope that your crews are safe out there, and that people, as they come into issues, that they will just contact you, stay away from the lines, and that we get through this what could be tough experience unscathed. Thank you so much, Daniel Lowry, tonight from Kentucky Utilities and LG&E with an update on their efforts out there.
We appreciate you. Stay with us. We are in for what seems like a white Christmas this year, and we're still showing off some of your Christmas lights, how people are getting in the Christmas spirit. Stay with us. What's next?
The anticipation, the sense of wonder, all the magic of the season. Put a little play in your holiday with these scratch-off games from the Kentucky Lottery.
Hey, thanks for working through the holidays.
Clara, Dad says you're working over Christmas.
Here you go, Mrs. Carson.
Let me pay you.
No, you're not going to pay me.
We are the helping hand.
Holly, happy holidays, Clara.
Thanks for everything you do, Clara.
We couldn't let you be alone for Christmas.
Oh, we've got you straight.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Theo's nose was cause for alarm, so Dad brought Puffs Plus lotion to save it from harm. Puffs has 50% more lotion and brings soothing relief. Don't get burned by winter nose. A nose in need deserves Puffs indeed. America's #1 lotion tissue.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just one dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Come to Oak Factory's year-end clearance sale where we're slashing prices on everything up to 70% off. We're seriously slashing prices up to 70% off this week only at Oak Factory.
No, not the sofa.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get Nano's revolutionary technology for just $397. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The CIC Recharge is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not one but 2 Nano hearing aids for just $397. Plus, we'll add a portable charging dock and ship your order absolutely free. The CIC Recharge has a tiny in-the-ear canal design that is nearly invisible. Why keep missing out on important conversations or waste thousands of dollars? Call and get 2 CIC Recharge hearing aids for only $397 and free shipping.
800-844-9878. Again, 800-844-9878.
You already know WKYT can air your commercial on WKYT. But what about everywhere else people watch TV? With over 125 streaming partners, WKYT helps you reach customers on every screen, everywhere. Email advertising@WKYT.com now and learn how you can get your commercials streaming to thousands of customers ready to use your product or service. This is smart, targeted advertising made easy. This is Advertising with WKYT.
New episodes of Walker Independence return Thursday, January 12th.
All right, just ahead of updating you on the ongoing weather situation, let's have a little fun. Only a couple of days left of these Christmas lights from Chris, so let's get right to it
we
tonight.
really enjoyed them, though. All right, first up, we have lights that Ben Jones sent us. This is on Toby Lane in London, Kentucky. It is all Grinch inspired, they say, and it really is a really fun display. There's a lot going on there in that yard.
You know the kids have to love that one, right? And then Travis Cassidy sent us this one in. This is from Ravenna over in Estill County. What about that? They call it the Cassidy Christmas, of course. Travis said from fighting fires to hanging lights, it is the yearly tradition for the community to enjoy. So, you know, we want you to keep sharing these. Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, we may have talked to him maybe in that area when we were down there for forest fires.
Oh, okay.
And he is known for putting up a great display, and I'm pretty sure he had to maybe fight off fires around his house.
Well, so there's the mention of that,
absolutely.
And then, you know, it's a great display, so it all works. And there was saw a little railroad theme over there, too.
I'm glad to see that it's up and going this year, for sure. All right, let's get you over to Chris. Chris, we are watching very quickly things changing in the weather department as we speak.
Yeah, we have now made the transition to snow in Lexington. Did not take long, and that's what we're dealing with. And now we're going to lose the visibility. You're going to see, or you're not going to see the buildings in downtown on this camera view coming up here probably within the next half hour. But making that switch over to snow after just getting in on a period of heavy rain, so that will ice up very, very quickly. But the snow that is flying out there is adding up. We've already got reports of some 2- and 3-inch amounts with this band between the Covington area and back toward Louisville. And this is going to intensify as it gets into central Kentucky over the next few hours. So that transition line is now getting east of Interstate 75. Even though we're seeing a little green on this radar, most of that now is switching over to some snowflakes. You can actually see that Arctic front as it makes its way into central Kentucky. We will watch the radar just out of curiosity to see. There's a lot of lift in the atmosphere. I'm wondering, can we get a little thunder snow? A couple of the models were hinting at that earlier in the day. So far, though, guys, that cold air is crashing in right on cue. That future radar, if you were with us earlier in the day and even yesterday, was pinpointing Lexington for a switchover between 10 and 11. And last I checked, we're between 10 and 11 right now.
All right. That we are, Chris Bailey. Very good. It's 10:28. You're right.
He can predict weather and tell time.
And tell time.
That's good.
Thank you, buddy. He's had a long night.
You confirm, by the way, that is
Absolutely.
the guy,
I was
right?
just checking.
Yeah.
It was Travis Cassidy, and I do remember he had a Santa sleigh out, and he was trying to save it from the fires as well as his own.
All right. Stay with us, WKYT News. We'll continue in just a moment.
Oh, Louie here. Listen to me. You gotta play it safe around electricity. Watch out, little buddy, when you plug these in. Don't plug in too many, my friend.
Ho, 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 can't hold anymore.
Now here's an empty socket. It's such a scary sight. Nothing goes in here but another pretty light. Yeah. Watch out, little buddy, listen to me. You gotta play it safe around electricity. Play it safe around a tree. Watch out, be careful what you do.
To be a good technician, you have to have a desire to learn.
If you want to be really good at something, it has to be a passion.
When I first came here, went from a cashier, now I'm breaking down and rebuilding engines.
What makes us different is we do 4 on 4 off. So I have 2 teams. That gives us the ability for our customers to drop off maybe before they go to work.
It's enjoyable to come to work every day.
When we walk every customer to their car, we want them to feel like they're a part of our family, and it's Quantrell for life.
Stop by Quantrell Subaru during the Subaru Share the Love event.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get Nano's revolutionary technology for just $297. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The CIC Recharge is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not 1, but 2 Nano hearing aids for just $297. Plus, we'll add a portable charging case and ship your order absolutely free. The CIC Recharge has a tiny in-the-ear canal design that is nearly invisible. Why keep missing out on important conversations or waste thousands of dollars? Call and get 2 CIC Recharge hearing aids for only $297 and free shipping.
800-684-9098. Again, that's 800-684-9098.
With First Alert Weather, this is WKYT News.
It is 10:30. Good evening from WKYT as our news continues. And right now, a winter storm is moving into the Lexington area and bringing with it some potential danger.
Let's check in now with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey tracking the latest for us. We're starting to see that changeover in the Frankfort area, right?
Yeah, we're seeing the snow that is now covering roads in Frankfort. I told you it wouldn't take long. So remember, at the top of the show, 10 o'clock, half hour ago, we had wet streets. It had just started snowing not too long before that. About 15 minutes ago, you could see just a little slush. Now, even the roads here in Frankfort are turning white. It won't be long before that's what we see here in Lexington. Maybe 30, 45 minutes from now, the view of downtown Lexington, where we were making that switch, warns you, you're not going to see the buildings here shortly. And now they're disappearing with some moderate to heavy snow that is kicking in across central Kentucky. And that's going to be the trend for the next several hours. Winter storm warning is out for most of us. 34 is the current temperature. So that thing dropped like a rock just in the past 5 minutes. We went from 40 to 34, and it's going to be into the 20s here coming up very, very shortly. 13 is the current temperature in Elizabethtown and Bowling Green. 16 Louisville. It is 6 degrees in Owensboro. Folks, this is a mega Arctic front that is making its way in. This is one of the colder December air masses you're ever going to see across the country, and especially considering it's taking up real estate in so much of the country. Wind chill is at 22. It's 7 below E-Town. Goose Egg in Louisville, minus 16 into Owensboro now. And we're going to double those wind chills a little later on tonight, early tomorrow morning. Radar picture, here's the Arctic front that continues to blast its way through Richmond now, getting into Winchester, up into Paris, and eventually that thing's going to roll its way all the way through eastern Kentucky into West Virginia, and that thing ain't going to stop until it hits the water into the Atlantic, and even there it's going to keep on trucking. Where you see the dark blues, that is almost whiteout condition. That's what we're dealing with here. Getting reports via Twitter and other social media of 2 and 3 inches of snow already into parts of northern Kentucky back toward the Louisville area, and those darker blues are just now beginning to kick in for Lexington, and that is a trend that's going to take us right on through the overnight, guys. So anywhere from an inch or 2 to upwards of 5 or 6 inches, depending on where you are across the area. But regardless, with temperatures that are going to be below 0 tonight, doesn't matter if you get an inch of snow or if you get 5 or 6 inches of snow, roads are going to absolutely be horrible, and we're going to have blowing snow and whiteout conditions for a time.
Chris, thank you. You can stay weather aware with our WKYT First Alert Weather app. You can scan this QR code that you see right there, or you can search for it in your app store. It's going to give you the latest weather alerts and radar, and it's going to work with cellular data if you lose power and Wi-Fi.
So Chris is at Kentucky's weather feed, is getting a lot of videos that are coming in from folks out there watching right now. We want to take a look at some of those.
It's helping us cover in a lot of different areas. Kentucky weather video here tweeted this video from from Lexington just in the last 5 minutes or so. This is on Harrodsburg Road. You can see the wind and the snow just cranking up as this front is moving in. Hard to see.
Amazing. That's the south end of town, and you have that going on. Now, this view out of Woodford County coming in from Whitney, Branson. The rain starting to switch over to snow there in that area around Versailles, as you can see.
And then take a look. Oldham County is already covered in snow there. Troy Risen tweeting this out. You can see the roads and the grass areas there blanketed in white tonight.
So we're keeping a close eye on the road conditions right now in Lexington as the weather is continuing to change as we speak.
Let's get you live now out to WKYT's Grayson Passmore. Grayson, what are you seeing here in Lexington? It is windy.
Yeah, it's very windy. Just 30 minutes ago, I told you guys and the viewers that the rain was letting up a little bit. I really wish I hadn't have said that, because as soon as I did, the wind just started hitting us really hard. I can speak from experience that it was hitting us very hard as we were trying to keep all of our lights up out here. Out here at Man of War and Sir Barton, it does look like there's still a good bit of traffic on the roads. That hasn't really died down much since I last talked to you guys 30 minutes ago. Even though this snow and this wind is really picking up, I will say if you don't have to be out here, don't be. Just go home. I promise it's much better there. We have to be out here, but you guys don't. Like, if you don't have to be, don't be, because this is going to get very dangerous. The wind is really bad already. The snow is not fun. My back is to it, thankfully. But if it wasn't, that would also not be fun. Like I said earlier, that, and like Chris has been saying, it's these wet roads that are really going to become the problem. This is what emergency management crews are really hoping you aren't driving on throughout the overnight and early morning hours. They really want you to just go home and stay inside and be safe. Yeah, there's still a lot of cars out here on Man of War. They're probably just on their way home. I'm sure that's what they're doing. We'll just continue to be out here and letting you know what's going on in the Hamburg area. Look at all this snow. It's really picking up. I don't know how much you can even see, but it's a lot out here. So just be warm inside and safe. Live in Lexington at Grayson Passmore at WKYT.
Grayson, thank you. And coming up at 11 on WKYT, we're going to have more from Grayson as we continue to check on those road conditions as they're going to continue to deteriorate as this storm moves in here to our viewing area.
Well, you expect that to be the issue in the overnight hours and certainly tomorrow morning. So, be making your plans tonight as to what you're going to do. We know a lot of appointments are canceled and some businesses closing and all of that. So people are, in many cases, doing the safe thing. Let's go back now to Chad Hedrick. He is still keeping an eye on things near I-75 tonight.
And Chad, how much of a temperature drop have you noticed there? And take a look at the snow that he is covered in. Good evening, Chad.
Yeah. So Grayson was talking about her back being to the blowing snow. Yeah, mine's not. It's right there. I've had a lot of snowflakes fall on my eyes. Doesn't feel great. I can tell you, though, when Chris said quick transition, can confirm very quick transition here just along I-75 with the grass already getting coated here. There's a semi that parked off the interstate right here at the Winchester Road exit, and its load is already covered in snow. Some new cars there that are just blanketed with it. We can still see traffic on the interstate. It is slowing down. However, cars are still going at a high rated speed as they have been going by. Visibility, it's there. It's definitely dropping a little bit as the snow picks up in the last couple of minutes here. But I was just checking with KYTC crews and also looking at some of the traffic cams across western Kentucky. Woodford County, for example, the interstate I-64 there does look snow covered. So that will be changing here in the Lexington area just within the next few minutes or so as more of this heavy snow comes through here, and hopefully traffic starts to slow down here on the interstates as well. It's a total different story in far western Kentucky, even in Louisville, where you can barely see the pavement there because it's been snowing much longer there, and obviously travel becoming an issue there. We have heard of some accidents. The governor even tweeting just a few minutes ago about accidents being reported across the Commonwealth and is encouraging people to take it slow if they have to be out, but obviously the best choice is to stay home tonight. Live in Lexington, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
All right, Chad, we're going to keep checking in with you throughout the night. We'll certainly see him at 11 over on WKYT. And that, folks, is really, Bill, what a half an hour can do in the sense that when we went to Chad first, it was raining a bit, pretty windy, and now he's covered in snow.
I saw him putting his get-up together a few minutes before he left. It's a good idea. All right, power companies, of course, are expecting outages from this, and they say fixing those could take longer than normal because of the weather conditions.
Yeah, Joe Arnold with Kentucky Electric Cooperative is checking in with us now for an update. Good evening, Joe. Thank you for staying up late with us. Talk to us about what your crews are out there experiencing right now and what they're working on. Do you have outages that you're actively working?
There are a few Western Kentucky that we've seen so far, and you're exactly right. And as Chris has pointed out, and Chad mentioned a moment ago as well, that as that front is sweeping across from west to east, those temperatures are sinking into the single digits. Right now in the Hopkinsville area, Pennyroyal Rural Electric is experiencing an outage there, about 1,500 members, and really it's not even known if that's even related to the winds at all. Sometimes outages just happen during regular situations as well. So far, knock on wood, so good as far as widespread outages. What I could say, and your point about time is so important. The time outside, and as far as your safety messaging is so important. That same messaging is what's being sent to every line worker who's out working to try to restore even one outage, because it doesn't take that long to get frostbite. So those rubber gloves they wear, those are to protect them from electricity and not to stay warm. So those crews themselves have to be rotated in and out. So Bill, to your point, if there is an outage, be prepared for the outage maybe to take a little bit longer than usual to restore because of the safety of the crews themselves.
And I'm sure you would ask, patience and understanding in a situation like this. These are folks certainly are heroes out there working in these conditions. But again, their safety has to be of importance as well.
Safety is number one, and if I could as well, the safety of your viewers and our co-op members, because if in fact you're one of the handful of folks who might have a power outage, you're going to be tempted to find an alternative source of heat. If in fact, if you have a power generator, please make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommendations. Make sure if it's a gasoline generated one that you have it at least 20, 30 feet away from your home, those exhaust fumes, because carbon monoxide, guys, is the number one killer during winter weather. Is because people find alternative ways to try to heat their homes. Same thing with if you're trying to get in your car, make sure your tailpipe is clear and don't have it in the garage when you're running it. Don't use your stove or your oven to try to keep warmer in your home. And if I could, one last thing is, if there are outages in your area, please check in on your neighbors, on your relatives, anyone who might need an extra look in here at the holidays.
All right, all good information. Joe Arnold, we always appreciate you. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
And we have much more winter weather coverage coming up from WKYT.
We're going to check back in with Chris just right after this.
At Hardee's, no matter what you choose, it's the right choice. Because our new 4 for $6 deal lets you make your own combo. Mix and match, then feast or snack on the food you're craving, all for just $6. Combine your favorite flavors into the perfect deal with our new 4 for $6 menu, only at Hardee's.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has the gifts to make this your most fun Christmas ever. From game tables to bikes to team sports. And the best from Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, golf, and grills. We've got everybody covered this holiday. Merry Christmas from everyone at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
To the man that called Bob, start raising his grandkids, brothers fresh out from doing a long bid. To all the police daily walking on the beat, to the city street workers picking trash off the street. The knowledge and wisdom shared from our barbers, the artists, the teachers, the coaches, the authors, lawyers, even directors of nonprofits. We are one Lexington, it's gonna take all of us.
It takes a village, count me in.
At Hardee's, no matter what you choose, it's the right choice. Because our new 4 for $6 deal lets you make your own combo. Mix and match, then feast or snack on the food you're craving, all for just $6. Combine your favorite flavors into the perfect deal with our new 4 for $6 menu, only at Hardee's.
Back now on WKYT News, where we're still following the latest on the winter storm that's hitting tonight.
Let's get you back over to Chris for the very latest. How about it, Chris?
Yeah, guys, we continue to see the snow coming down heavy in Lexington, so we're losing visibility very quickly. Visibility now under a quarter of a mile into downtown. That's about where we are from our camera view to the building. So you can see we're losing the visibility there, and heavy snow is showing up, and it is sticking. You can see it on the rooftops here, and likely starting to see that ice forming on our camera lens too. Frankfurt cam, look at this. Now you know the snow is piling up when you can start to see the tracks on the road here, so it didn't take long for that to happen. We continue with a winter storm warning that is out, and the current temperatures now, we're below freezing in Lexington. That happened quickly, didn't it? We were at 40 degrees when we came on at 10 o'clock. We're down to 30 now, 23 into Frankfort. 10 is the current temperature in E-Town. With snow, that continues to fly back to the west. The wind chill in Lexington, all of a sudden, guys, we're down to 18. It's 9 into Frankfort right now. In about an hour, Lexington, your wind chill is going to be down to roughly 5 degrees. Guys, we'll track the bitter cold coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. Still ahead, the Wildcats were back in the win column on Wednesday, thanks to a really big performance by a freshman. Stay with us. That's next in sports.
I still think I can sell the car myself. This is going to take all day. And I have big plans. Brunch. Bubble bath.
At WeBuyAnyCar.com, selling your vehicle is always fast and fair.
And a nice pedicure.
All done.
Don't trade in or sell by yourself. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com now for a free online valuation. Get in, get out, get paid.
Center Target Firearms, Kentucky's best selection of firearms and accessories, featuring a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range with a fully digital touchscreen interface. Weekly ladies' nights and full auto Fridays, and unlimited shooting monthly memberships for only $16.95. ShootCenterTarget.com.
Kentucky, please slow down, move over.
Every 6 days, a tow operator is killed in highway shoulder accidents, an average of 62 drivers per year. When you see signs, lights, and vests, slow down to a speed that's safe and move over. Give tow operators room to work.
It's our job to help you.
Do your part to help keep us safe. Slow down
and move over.
A message from Roberts Heavy Duty Towing and Recovery.
My favorite time of year is finally here. Toyotathon is on. Who's crafty?
Save thousands in fuel costs on this electrified RAV4 hybrid and get 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
Do you need high-quality furnace repair? Don't lose heat on those cold winter nights. Call your local, experienced team at Synergy Home at 859-687-0553.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Well, hi, everybody. I guess we can look at a positive about this. You're going to get your white Christmas. We're getting a lot of snow tonight and tomorrow, a lot by being 1 to 2 inches on the low end. Some of us may see 4, 5, or 6 on the high end of that. But regardless, with bitterly cold temperatures, that snow isn't going anywhere through Christmas. That's going to be on the ground likely into early next week, when we may freshen it up with a system with some light snow Monday, Tuesday. Let's start you out with 9 different sky cams, because earlier we could only see snowy roads on one of those cams. That was Louisville. Now we've got it in Frankfort. We're starting to see snow sticking into Georgetown, Lexington. The visibility's down. Look at that Covington cam. You got to look through the ice on the camera lens to see the interstate up here that is turning white. Moorhead, Pikeville, Jenkins, London, hang in there. That's what is coming your way. But the farther east you go, the lower the snow amounts that will begin to show up. So, you typically associate the mountains with a little more snow. Well, it's not going to be the case this go around. Mountains will be lighter in terms of snow compared to the rest of the state. Downtown Lexington, I mentioned the whiteout conditions that would likely come late evening, roughly 10, 11 o'clock through 3, 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. And there we have it. Visibility is now well under that 1/4 mile. And the streets into Frankfort are not only snow covered, but under that, all that rain we had. And that's a skating rink with snow on top of it. That's what you're going to be dealing with. So tomorrow morning, if you're up and you have to step outside and you hit that first step and you think, well, it's just going to be snow, I've got some traction. Under that's going to be that layer of ice from the freeze up, the flash freeze that is currently underway. That period of heavy rain we had right before the temperature dropped in Lexington is going to make roads just incredibly, incredibly bad in just a matter of a few minutes from now. Total snowfall, this is through Saturday. Many of us tonight will pick up 1, 2, 3, maybe some local 4-inch amounts, and then we can add another inch or so tomorrow and into the day on Saturday with some snow squalls. Now remember, there's a not only is the 6 limit the penthouse of this whole mess, but then you got a basement too, or the first floor. That would be the 1 to 2 inch amounts you see here. So everybody likes to look at a snow forecast, say, hey, I'm getting 6 inches of snow. Well, we've got you in 2 to 6. So you'll fall somewhere within that window. But the concern here is this area from Frankfort, Lexington to Covington back into Louisville already reports some 2 and 3 inch amounts there. And some of the late evening short range models are spitting out numbers that are higher than what I've got in the forecast. I'm not going to bite on that and change it at the last minute, but just know some stripes in there may show up of some heavier snow. Play a game called Find the Cold Front. Wow. At 40s into eastern Kentucky, single digits. We're threatening already to go below 0. You know what's impressive about this? Besides that it's that cold, but it's that cold and it is still snowing. That is the frozen tundra that we're dealing with right now across central and western Kentucky. Wind chills are dropping 8 below into E-Town, 16 below Owensboro, 6 below Bowling Green. In just a matter of a half hour, Lexington should have single-digit wind chills. And then it's game on towards some historic wind chills tomorrow morning. We're likely to top out or bottom out 30 to 35 below 0 early tomorrow morning. Just incredible stuff. I've been at this time or two for a few years now. I've seen a time or two when it gets really cold around here. I don't know that I've seen wind chills 30 to 35 below 0. Maybe once or twice during that time span, and the snow is still just now kicking into high gear. Rain into eastern Kentucky. You can see the Arctic front snaking its way out ahead of that snow change that is now east of Richmond, heading toward Moorhead. 7-day forecast. We're not going to come out of this cold until we get into the middle of next week, and there's a second little system that can put down some accumulating snow Monday and Tuesday. Wind chills this weekend, guys, will not get above 0 until likely late Christmas Day or more than likely on Monday. We're going to have an extended period of time, roughly 60 hours, with wind chills below 0. Wow.
You and I have talked. I remember December of '83. I was at EKU.
Yeah, right.
And you thought if you fell, you were done. I mean, with that that wind and freezing.
The 2 great December Arctic outbreaks here. December of '83, December of '89. Now you're going to put this one up with those 2.
All right.
Chris, thank you. Well, EK joins us now with sports, and Kentucky got another big performance last night from one of its freshmen.
Yeah, that's right. Cason Wallace turned in his best game as a Wildcat last night in a 20-point win over Florida A&M. Wallace poured in a career-high 27 points, including 5 3-pointers in that game. He also added 9 assists and 4 steals. Now, Wallace played in 31 minutes compared to just 20 minutes for Xavier Wheeler. And after the game, Calipari said that Wallace is still learning to play the point guard.
You know, and we got to keep working with him. As he plays point, decision-making, seeing the court better. What he did today is he made shots. So you couldn't go under on a pick and roll. He dings a ball in, but, he's a terrific player.
And Kentucky's next game is a conference opener next Wednesday at Missouri. The Tigers are 10-1 overall, but they've only played one Power 5 team this season. That was Kansas. They lost by 28. Afternoon hoops from Richmond, EKU, and UNC Greensboro. A.W. Hamilton not in the Christmas spirit. His team was down in the second half. Down the stretch, though, the game belonged to Devontae Blanton, spinning free to get clear on the jumper here. Colonels were down 60-57. Blanton again, 3 minutes later, down the lane. EKU on top 61-60. Same score, 2.5 minutes to play. Guess who? Blanton. He scores 11 of his 16 in the final 6 minutes. EKU heads to the Christmas break in a jolly mood. 68-64 the final score there. And that's sports. We'll be right back.
Todd and Sarah are in love. But this isn't your classic rom-com. It's a Nissan event ad. Don't let true love or these offers get away.
Make no payments until March 2023 on select vehicles.
Chris's Christmas lights are brought to you by Kentucky Utilities.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries offers free design services to help you create a unique look for your home, so you can work around that one special piece you can't live without. Perfect. It's the year-end sale at Lazy Boy. Don't miss your chance to save 45% on your favorite styles store-wide. Plus, you'll receive 36 months special financing on your purchase. So don't wait. Hurry in now. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Hey, thanks for working through the holidays.
Clara, Dad says you're working over Christmas.
Here you go, Mrs. Person.
Let me pay you.
No, you're not going to pay me.
We are the helping hand.
Holly, happy holidays to you.
Thanks for everything you do, Clara.
We couldn't let you be alone for Christmas.
Happy Christmas tree.
Oh my gosh.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention veterans and civilians. Have you or a loved one spent time at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. Those who lived or worked at Camp Lejeune any time from 1953 until 1987 may have been exposed to contaminated drinking water causing adverse health complications. The contaminants that leached into drinking water at Camp Lejeune have been linked to serious diseases and health complications, including multiple cancers, kidney injuries, miscarriages, neurological disorders, Parkinson's disease, or other serious injury. If you spent time at Camp Lejeune and later developed an injury, call the number on your screen or visit campeljustice.com immediately. Again, if you or a loved one spent time at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and have been diagnosed with an injury, call Wright and Schulte at the number on your screen or visit campeljustice.com now for a free consultation.
Todd and Sarah are in love. But this isn't your classic rom-com. It's a Nissan event ad. Don't let true love or these offers get away.
Get $500 loyalty cash on Pathfinder or Rogue.
We are just now getting some reports in. A couple people in Richmond say they've heard some claps of thunder.
How about that?
You said thunder snow.
We said that was a possibility. Now a few reports coming out of Madison County. Good on you, Richmond. There's that squall line. Yeah, almost a little squall line of heavy snow and rain that is right along that Arctic boundary. The Arctic boundary is now east of Winchester, rolling through Mount Sterling. Heavy snow behind that. Roads are turning white quickly, and there's ice underneath that, too.
All right, the news will continue over on WKYT.
The safety and comfort of your family is our priority here at Comfort Master. Carbon monoxide is a real issue this time of year. A winter checkup can help keep you safe, save money and energy, while keeping you comfortable. Give us a call today at Comfort Master to schedule your winter maintenance.